Questions. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What up, what up? It is Deja. How y'all doing?
Hello. Welcome. Never been here before. We do a cross section of pop culture in real life. And if that sounds interesting to you, we're here multiple times a week. Go ahead and subscribe and like this video in advance. So today we are talking Real Housewives of Potomac. What a disappointment this season has been.
Girl,
Gosh.
it's terrible.
Like to the
It's
point that
terrible.
we watched two episodes and we're going to cover two episodes roughly, but I literally made like 5 notes for 2 episodes. So
It's terrible.
yeah.
Basura.
So where do you want to start?
We can start at the top of the most recent episode, because that's been going on the whole time, Wendy and Nneka.
Yeah, Wendy and Nneka. I'm exhausted by this. So I know that they do finally sit down, but like Wendy's the Happy Eddie event. We can talk about the Happy Eddie event a bit. I didn't understand why they were rolling oregano. I suppose that was some sort of liability thing. I don't know, but
Probably can't roll weed on television, girl. I'm sure.
this I don't see why not.
I'm sure that they probably don't have a precedent for, or maybe they didn't have like, it's got to be something with like the legalities of it all. Because
Maybe
why
there's
else would
some
they be
sort
rolling
of
oregano?
yeah, maybe there's some sort of like a behavior clause or something with drug use on camera or something. Um,
Mm-hmm. Because think about like, and this is an aside, but like the girls on TikTok be showing the shows from Zeus, and anytime that Krishan and Homeboy are, lighting up, you never see it them smoking it on camera.
okay.
It's only like that they are because they'll blow it into the view, but they turn and do whatever, and then so
Mm,
I don't know.
okay, maybe there's I don't know. I don't know why.
Y'all
Anyways,
let
they're
us know if
rolling
you know.
oregano. Feel like you got to warn somebody if they're gonna be rolling oregano at down to the weed event.
Child, the girls was ready to get high. They were
They
trying to
were
get
like
tipsy.
Candy Ache.
Ah.
Literally, Candy Ache was like putting in her order. Like, here's what I need. Bring this back, telling Chris Bassett to bring her exactly what to bring her back from the function because she ended up having to go do some acting role
Do
and
something
Chris
else.
yeah, Chris stayed back. Speaking of which, they really are rude to
Did
each
he stay?
other. I don't remember what the scene was, but they were just being rude and nasty to each other. I was like, I don't know how y'all are gonna stay married
So this week's episode, yeah.
with
Then
the way
I don't
y'all
feel like they're
talk
gonna
to
be
each
married
other.
long.
I mean, they've
But I
already
mean,
been married longer than I probably would have thought by the way they talk to each other. They just nasty to each other.
they be fighting. Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. Um, but anyways, all that to say, during that event, during the Happy Eddie event, Nneka pulls Wendy aside and is like, "Hey, I know you said before when we were coming back from Surrey that, we weren't there for me to invite you any place. So I would like to have a sit down conversation with you." And Wendy kind of was like, well, I don't know. I don't think I'm there yet. And so Nneka was like, I thought you said the first step was to sit down and have a conversation. Now
Let's
you're
have
telling
a
me
conversation.
that that you don't want to have the conversation. And Wendy is like, I don't know. Wendy, she is, she has gone from out and out insufferable for me to I like her a little bit, but she still has some of those like insufferable characters where she like get characteristics where
Mm-hmm.
she gets on her high horse and she is just not going to budge. And I am like, girl, at the end of the day, this is a
Get over
reality
it.
show. And part of the reality show matrix is that you disagree, you have disagreement, you get your ass down to the local coffee shop, you work through it or don't, but you have to have that one-on-one conversation as a part of the show. So like I
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing that irritates me about Wendy the most. I feel like she is behaving as though this is real life and not reality TV.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, to like, she's still a reality TV newbie to a degree. So I feel like this. is both reality TV and real life. Like these things were said to me. I don't so we disconnect on that part. Like, yes, this is a reality TV show and it's for entertainment purposes, but these are still things that are happening to these people in real time. This is not like a made up storyline per se.
Right.
Or it might be made up on the part of the person coming with the BS, but like the person on the receiving end, which was Wendy, like this is for real insulting. Like what are we doing here? Just like when she flipped out in previous season when they were trying to say that Eddie was cheating.
Yeah, I think I get it. I get it. You're allowed to have your emotions, but I feel like when you're on reality TV, like you do have to, because in my mind, right, this is how it works for me. In my mind, in real life, you would just never speak to this person or see this person again. But when you show up to record, you still have to do the recording because you're on a reality TV show together. And part of that whole universe is that you have to interact with each other. And if every time somebody pisses you off, you no longer want to interact with them, you no longer want to be on reality TV. That's
But
why
that's the issue with this whole
I
cast, this whole season.
that's why I would never do reality TV because you can't force me to go have a conversation that I don't want to have. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Wendy, there are some people, for what it's worth, that are just too real for reality TV. And I'm feeling like Wendy might be falling into that category of like, no, this is not what I would do. Now, I mean, she did come around and finally have the conversation with Nneka, and they met down to the coffee shop where she clearly was not planning to stay because she ordered water. Um, so she did show up for the scene, but at the end of the day, it was like both of y'all are just saying the same stuff y'all been saying. So like this is not
Mm-hmm.
going to get any place.
Mm-mm. Belaboring the point at this point. They're not, both of you have, feel like they have been wronged by the other.
Yeah.
And I will say, to Wendy's point, like, girl, you keep talking about what my mother allegedly did, but what does any of that have to do with me?
Yes. Yes.
And so, like, I think, but if that's the stance that Wendy is going to hold, accurate and right, I'm with you when you're right.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can't still then turn around and be mad that she's upset about what was done by your mom. Like, you need to, it has to be a, what does any of that have to do with me? Okay, that's how you feel about my mother. We don't have to talk about that. You and I don't have a relationship for you to feel as though you were wronged by me. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
done anything to you.
Yeah.
So if you want to move forward, then that's what we need to be doing. But what I need you to do is stop talking about my mother. If you feel she did X, Y, and Z, which I feel that she didn't, okay, we are at an impasse. There's nothing for us to discuss. I'm not going to apologize to you for
Yeah.
something that I didn't have anything to do with.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they need to say to each other.
Well, here's the thing. Like, that's the reason why I'm like, I don't have a problem with the fact that they sat down and had a conversation and it went nowhere. My problem is that Wendy is acting like she is can elect out of having these hard conversations on camera. It's like that is the gig. That is the gig, ma'am. You got to
Okay.
show up for the gig. That is the gig.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So they
Mm-hmm.
do this trip to DR. I don't know if you had anything else from that previous episode, that first one before this
Girl,
one.
I forgot what happened.
Me too. It doesn't matter.
So
I think it was
neither here
mostly
nor
the
there. This
Happy
season
Eddie
is
thing.
boring.
Oh, and they did the unpacking party at Nneka's house, which was very boring.
Oh, that's when Robyn brought up that she was scrolling through Karen's phone like 10 years ago, and
Mm.
there was a picture of like Robyn and Juan or their family or whatever the case may
Oh,
be.
I don't think Juan
And
was there. I
like,
think it was her parents or something. It was weird.
was
Was
it her parents or was it
No, it was
the
definitely her
Robyn and Juan
parents
and
were
the family?
definitely there. I just don't know if Juan was there or not.
So, but my thing is like, girl, people screenshot stuff all the time and send it to somebody else. Like, do you know these people? And that's probably what it was because Karen didn't even remember that she was in her phone.
All the time. Um, all right, so we can move on. So they go to DR. Karen has a fit about her room.
I mean, we thought she wasn't.
So so it's Robyn's trip. Robyn's trip. So she
Right.
gets to sleep. There are four single rooms and then I think four double rooms or something like that. So she gives a single room to herself, obviously. Giselle gets a single room because she's like, me and Giselle share all the time, which I actually agreed with.
Mm-hmm.
She gives one to
I do.
Ashley because Ashley is,
It's
It's
her
her
birthday.
birthday. It's her birthday. And then one to Nneka because she's the new girl. And so Karen throws a fit because she's like, I'm not sharing. And Robyn specifically says, like, you never shared. You should have to share. And Karen
At
throws a
least
hissy
once.
fit. And eventually Ashley just like gives up her room. So after Karen like talks to the hotel and is like, I need a room, da 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 da. And they're like, we don't have nothing for you. So Ashley eventually gives up her room and shares with I don't remember who. Anyways, doesn't matter. Um,
I don't even know who she was sharing with because the new girl, Kiana, she ain't had no body
yeah,
sharing with
Karen
her.
didn't. She didn't have a room. She had a shared room, but she didn't have a roommate.
Yeah, so who did Ashley go? I guess we'll find out next week. I'm like, who did you share with?
So it was like I think it was Mia, Wendy. So Wendy and Candy Ache shared, and then it was Mia. So she must have shared with Wendy. I mean
Oh,
Mia,
yeah,
Ashley,
she's
and
with
then
Mia.
Kierna.
I'm like, y'all are ridiculous. I'm not serious.
Um,
With the rooms, no matter what show it is, it's always a big deal. So
yeah. And so that was that pretty much for that was the drama. That was the big drama was with the rooms. Did you have anything else?
through Chris and Candy Ache on the couch,
Mm-hmm.
having like their emotional whatever. I'm like, why would you? You know what? We don't have to go there. Y'all already know how I feel. I don't think that the two of them should procreate if they cannot communicate as it stands.
No, I
That's
agree.
the gist.
So
Um, it's
at
not
the
going to be a healthy environment for a child.
yeah. So at the end, so previous
That Grand
episode,
Dame stuff.
this was foolish. This was foolish, and it had a foolish follow-up. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up, like in such detail. So previously, when they went to Nneka's house for the first time, Giselle was like, "What did Karen say about your house?" Because Nneka lives in Potomac proper, and Nneka said that Karen said that she lives in North Potomac. And Giselle was like, you live in Potomac, Potomac. You are in the zip code. You are in the Potomac. So, as a joke for Karen, she says, we're going to crown you as the new Grand Dame, like the Grand Dame of Potomac. She's going to crown
Mm-hmm.
Nneka as the Grand Dame of Potomac. So, they do this whole coronation. I was irritated because Candy Ache's panties were all in a bunch about it when it was obviously all in good fun. Like it was a ribbing. It was just funny.
I think Candace just didn't care to be bothered. She thought they was going to go do whatever or go get something to eat, and she was just like, "If this is what you brought me out here for, I don't need to be here for that." And at the
I
same
think
time, I wasn't mad at her, but I wonder what else was happening that we did not get to see. Because why else would she just walk off like that?
I don't think any well, she say something else was happening? Did she say that?
She was like muttering, like, "I don't have time for this. This is so stupid."
Oh, okay.
So, like, something was to me. I feel like either something was said that we didn't catch, or they just didn't air it. I don't know.
Maybe. I thought that I think so I have this thing, right, where somebody pisses me off enough times and they get under my skin to a point I just feel like they can't breathe right. And I cannot be around them because every single thing about them irritates the shit out of me. Like so that's my phrase for like that kind of stuff. I feel like Giselle is the top of Candy Ache's can't breathe right list. She is never going to acknowledge a
Mm.
funny thing that she says. She is not going to acknowledge absolutely anything about Giselle. Every single thing that Giselle does is going to get under Candy Ache's skin because she does not like her. So
I will agree with you on that.
I just
That's
think
likely what we saw happening.
I just don't think that Giselle can breathe right to Candy Ache. So let me follow this up with one of the funniest things I have ever heard on Watch What Happens Live. So uh, Karen was on Watch What Happens Live with Dr. Jackie after, their respective episodes aired, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Andy asked her about the Grand Dame thing, or I think maybe it was an audience question. Somebody asked her about the Grand Dame thing. And she said, I wrote it down verbatim. Of Nneka being the Grand Dame of Potomac, she says she has a strip of land in North Potomac that she can govern. And I lost it. I absolutely could not get it together. And neither could Andy because Andy repeated it like another 5 times throughout the rest of the episode. Like it was so funny the way she delivered it, like deadpan. She just has a strip of land in North Potomac. I need help. I can't govern everywhere. She has a strip of land in North Potomac where she can govern. I was just like, oh.
Child, Karen, listen, I love Karen. Period. Full stop.
It was so fun. Listen, if you get a chance, go find the episode of Watch What Happens Live and listen to her delivery of that specific part. I could not contain myself. It was so funny. I like completely hollered. So,
do they have Watch What Happens Live on Peacock?
I think so. Or you can go on the Bravo app and sign into your Peacock from Bravo.
Okay, I'll try it. Because I have the Bravo app. I just been using Peacock.
Yeah. So, anyways,
either way,
very funny, very shady, and it was so good. That's it. You got anything else for Potomac? It's been boring.
Girl, no. Again, to your point, it's been boring. Oh, what are you drinking, friend?
I don't know, some wine.
All right, y'all. Please drop your comments down below if you've been watching Potomac this season. Are you as bored as we are? And of course, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next conversation. Bye.
Bye.